Hello, my cookies. Welcome to Russell Cooks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, I have another back to basics. This is where we just like to do relatively simple recipes, but they allow you to put your own kind of fingerprint on it. So today, I have something called asparagus tart. Now, this uses one quick shortcut. Instead of making your own tart dough or making your own puff pastry, you just use store-bought. That's great. And then you can do all different types of different toppings on top. And today I'm doing asparagus. It's going to use some goat cheese, little prosciutto, little Nigella seeds. We'll get to those. It's going to be really delicious. This is great as an appetizer, a side, or even a dinner for two. It's perfect. It's quick, weeknight friendly. It's hard to beat. So let's get started. First things first, let's gather our ingredients. You're going to need olive oil, lemon for lemon zest, garlic, 4 ounces of goat cheese. I have 3 ounces that has been sitting out softening. This will make it spread a lot easier. Prosciutto, Nigella seeds. Now these are a little oniony. They're completely different than black sesame seeds. Sometimes they're called black cumin or whatnot. They're not really related. To me, it has a very oniony flavor to it. I love them. It's gonna add a little bit of nice contrast with the color. Completely optional. Again, you can make this your way. Chives, 6 to 8 ounces of asparagus, store-bought puff pastry. Pull it out and let it thaw on the counter for 30 to 60 minutes, or put it in your fridge the night before and let it thaw that way. Makes things very, very easy. Salt. Now that we got our ingredients, let's get started. All right, first thing you're gonna wanna do is preheat your toaster oven to 425 degrees. If you have a convection setting, turn it on. If not, you can still do the recipe. The timings might just be a little different, might take a little longer. You can absolutely do it in your big oven as well, but why heat up the house? For our asparagus, we're gonna cut it up maybe 1/2 inch on the bias. Gonna be making them look pretty good here. Take your time, no cut fingers. Next up, garlic. 1 garlic clove will do you. Let's get the garlic. Bowl with the asparagus here. I love chives on this, completely optional. You can do scallions. Just stick with Nigella seeds. You got the same flavor profile. I'm gonna do a couple chives. Next up, some lemon zest. You can do about 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon, so not an entire lemon. Just enough to kind of brighten it up, add a little bit of lemoniness, not take over. Then a mix. Let's add in a tablespoon of oil, about a 1/2 teaspoon salt. Set that aside. That's going to be our topping. Let's move over to our goat cheese spread. I got 3 ounces here that's softened. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. It'll help loosen it up even more. Don't want more liquid in this. I don't want a soggy bottom. It's nice. It's incorporated here. So it should be about 9.5 inches by 9.5 inches. So I'm going to roll it out. I just want it a little bit bigger. On one side, I want maybe about 11.5 inches by 9. And that way I can fold it up, fit it on my smaller tray that's going in to my convection toaster. Now I have a light aluminum pan here. Line it with parchment paper or aluminum foil. If you want it to fit right here, you can absolutely use a bigger pan. That is fine. If you have a darker pan, start checking for doneness maybe 5 minutes early. Gonna lightly flour this. I'm just gonna roll it out maybe 1 inch both ways, not hard, pretty easy. And I'm done. All that mess for that little bit. Flip it, perfect. Fun part, bring out your inner Bob Ross here. Just gonna paint the edges, maybe about a 1/2 inch. So we're just gonna fold in towards the center. Now it's time to spread our goat cheese mixture. Hopefully it's softened enough and I don't ruin this puff pastry. It is. Great. All right, we got it on the pan. Now we can go back, spreading our goat cheese. Got to spread out evenly. Let's get our asparagus topping on here. Now our final touch here, some crumbled goat cheese, the remaining 1 ounce in that 4 ounce package. We're gonna crumble it over top. We're gonna pop it in. It's gonna take 20 to 25 minutes in our convection toaster. And that just means it has a fan going. That's all that convection means. Sometimes it also means there's a heating element in front of the fan, but for the most part, it's just circulating the air. All right, I'm gonna pop this toaster oven, 20-25 minutes. I'm gonna rotate it halfway through. I'm also gonna top it with some prosciutto and some Nigella seeds. So we'll get to that in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna take about 2 or 3 pieces of prosciutto here. I'm just gonna tear them up. That looks like plenty. It'll give us a nice little salty bite, which is perfect for this tart. Ah, yes. Ooh, look at that. You gotta let it cool down a little bit and then you can cut it and get into it. But it's a little puffed in the center. That's fine. It'll go down. Let it rest. 6 to 10 minutes here. This is nice. And you can make this vegetarian if you want. You don't need the prosciutto. This is like if I say back to basics, I mean something that seems relatively basic, but hopefully it inspires you. You can make your own. And you can do this. It's easy. There's so many different ways that you can make this. But it's the technique here. That's kind of the foundation. And then you can build off of that foundation. And it's good and it's delicious and it looks a lot more complex than it actually is. I'm gonna get myself a big piece here. To the bottom. Ooh, yes, I can't show you, but just trust me. I got nice browning on the bottom here. Here we go. Let's give it a taste. First, let's take a look at it. The prosciutto, the Nigella seeds, the asparagus, a little bit of browning on this goat cheese bottom, a little bit of olive oil. Give this a taste. That is fantastic. So many different elements working here. Get that salty prosciutto that comes in, the crisp, tender asparagus. It's pretty grassy. And then you get that creamy goat cheese. It all kind of melds together. And then boom, you get a pop from the Nigella seeds. They're super potent and flavorful. I love it. They add almost like a very mild nuttiness, but a lot of onioniness, which is perfect. And then that lemon zest that we stirred into the asparagus really just makes everything pop. And of course, you get the crispy puff pastry that is so buttery and fatty and rich. Say if you use a little more prosciutto, go lighter on the salt than I did with the asparagus. Quick, easy, looks amazing. What more do you want? Tastes great. I guess you want good taste. Thanks so much for tuning in. There you have it, a really easy weeknight friendly asparagus tart. If you like what you see, don't forget to follow me on YouTube, Twitch. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you all next time. Take care.